President's Day is a really important time in our country. I like to focus on past and current presidents as well as patriotism. I also like to do one big project during this month. When teaching ELA or history, the students usually get a lot of writing practice, so I like to provide them with other experiences. Today I'm going to share with you a video presentation that was completed as a group project by some students. I did recreate it, I had permission to do so, and to publish it on YouTube. I made a few changes. One thing that I did was that the students had 2 interviews on here. One of them was a skit, and then the other one they went out and interviewed someone who had nothing to do with the project. Now I did not go out and do the interview because this was YouTube, and I just didn't want to go out and ask people, do you mind being on YouTube? Maybe another time, but not this time. I do have a skit interview on the interview for you. Not everyone is going to agree with the viewpoint that these students take, because these topics are considered controversial. However, as a teacher, I cannot grade based on whether I agree with them or not. I'm saying this because I have received some projects that I did not agree with their viewpoint. However, as long as they followed my rubric, they received the grade that they earned. Unfortunately, I have seen some teachers mark the grade based on their feelings. So if you are a new teacher, please keep in mind that you need to grade based on your rubric and not on your feelings. One more thing. These type of projects have actually enlightened students that they're interested in photography and videography. So if you incorporate these type of projects into your classroom, you could be opening a whole new world for your students.
Hello, this is Craig with the WTPW News team. Today, the What's the Problem with team, consisting of Miss Mary Ellen, Miss Elizabeth, and myself, are hitting the streets to find out what the people think of the growing disrespect towards American history. The ladies are already out in the field, conducting interviews and doing research, so we'll turn the show over to them now. Girls?
Hello, Craig. This is your sister Elizabeth. I'm here with Mr. Henry, and I'm just about to ask him what he thinks about the growing disrespect towards American history. Pardon me, sir. Do you have an opinion?
Yeah, I do. People aren't respecting the history of America anymore. For example, the other day was the anniversary of 9/11. Do you know what 9/11 is, young lady?
Yes, sir, I do. But I understand that many kids today do not, because teachers are no longer required to teach it in school. Can you confirm this to be true, sir?
Yes, I can, young lady. An educator told me that just the other day. Nearly made this Ohio man stop with shock.
Come again, sir?
I said stop with shock. I swear, this younger generation never listens anymore.
Back to the point, sir.
What is the point?
9/11, sir.
Ah, yes, 9/11. I remember it well. I was laying in bed when the news report came on.
Sir, you mentioned something about educators no longer being required to teach about 9/11 in school. Do you have an opinion about that?
Yes, I do. It's an abomination. Though I suppose I shouldn't be surprised. That's a part of disrespecting the history of this nation. Not passing it on to the youngins. And even if they do, they pretend like it's no big deal. Just like the Holocaust.
Miss Elizabeth, I think there's a storm blowing in. We should probably continue this special WTPW news report here from the studio. Wow, that storm blew in hard. It knocked out the power. But I guess that's a good thing because it gave us extra time to look further into the 3 topics we'd like to discuss today. Miss Elizabeth, would you care to share the information about the first of those 3 topics?
Well, Craig, today we'll see what people think about kneeling during the national anthem. According to an article written in the Washington Post by Scott Clement and Emily Guskin, a poll was held in which the question, "Do you think it is ever appropriate to kneel during the national anthem or that it is never appropriate?" was asked, and showed that 42% of U.S. adults said it is sometimes appropriate. 53% of Americans said that it is never appropriate, and 4% had no opinions. Now that's sad if you ask me.
And how true that is. Unfortunately, not many people are willing to show that kind of respect anymore. Another way the disrespect towards American history is growing is by forgetting all those who have fought and died for this nation. June A. English and Thomas D. Jones, authors of the Encyclopedia of the United States at War, wrote that 4,435 soldiers died during the American Revolution. 498,393 were killed during the bloodiest war in American history, the Civil War. 116,708 died in World War I, and 407,316 in World War II. Many people choose to ignore this fact, to ignore the many great sacrifices that these men and women have made for their country. In order that their sacrifices should not be in vain, we must honor their history and give remembrance to what they did and continue to do today. Now, Miss Mary Ellen will enlighten us on another topic that we believe deserves more attention. Miss Mary Ellen?
Let me begin by quoting our 45th President of the United States of America, Mr. Donald Trump. He said, "Nobody should be allowed to burn the American flag. If they do, there must be consequences." Unfortunately, this is the complete opposite of what is happening in America today. According to an article written by Nicholas Bogle Burroughs and printed in the New York Times, Cleveland is paying $225,000 to a man who burned an American flag outside the Republican National Convention. This occurred in 2016. The reason that they are doing this is the man claims that the officer stopping the burning of the flag attacked his freedom of speech. But is this really freedom of speech? I believe this says I reject this country and everything that it stands for. It is also a major way of disrespecting this country. Someone who agrees with my statement is Miss Lizzie Sellens from the University of Rhode Island. In an article that she wrote online, she states, "I don't care who you are or what race you are. As long as you live in the United States of America, you will place your hand over your heart and take your hat off in respect of the flag of America. Otherwise, consider finding another country to live in, since this one is so disgraceful."
As we've seen today, there is definitely a growing disrespect towards American history. We should be banding together to protect our history, not destroy or deface it. Let us take a look at what we have covered today.
9/11 was a terrible crisis that brought the nation together in a time of desperation and in prayer. But how many people went through the day not even realizing what happened 19 years ago? I was only a baby at the time and unaware of the immediate threat that this terrorist attack posed upon my country. This is a part of history that we should all be kept aware of.
The National Anthem, written by Francis Scott Key, shows the true spirit of patriotism and should ring in the hearts of all Americans. None who calls himself an American should kneel in protest when this beautiful melody is played. And the burning of the stars and stripes, our American flag, should once again be outlawed as it was before the Supreme Court struck down the Flag Protection Act of 1989.
There is a problem with the growing disrespect towards American history.
And that is the problem that will bring America to her knees.
The WTPW News team is made up of men and women who believe it is important to take a stand and protect American history. Unfortunately, it appears we have run out of time for today. So, for all the members of the WTPW News team, good night, God bless, and let's make America great again.
I could put a disclaimer on here and say that yes, I do agree with this content, but as long as they follow my rubric, they're gonna do awesome! I hope this gave you another idea on how to actively engage your students in the learning process. This would be great at home, in the classroom, or for online learning because they could complete this at home and then send it in to you as a video. Let me know in the comments down below if this is something that you're going to start incorporating in your classroom or if it's something that you already do. And don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. And remember to be proud of your work, productive in your day, and positively joyful.